You having a good sleep? You having a good sleep? Here's your food. Look at all that. Yummy. Okay, in the last video you saw that we had the engine and transmission in the car, the mounting surface put on, superchargers mocked up, and fiddling with the idea of putting a street scoop on just to be extra irritable to the right crowd. So now we have to get this space filled with a massive turbo. Let's move on with that. I kind of started cutting and mocking all this stuff up, Siamesing those pipes together and getting the areas where the wastegates will be. I made a really great flange for this, but I drilled it incorrectly. I don't know how. I marked everything out and it was gonna fit on there super nice, and I messed it up. And that's all the metal I have. And I messed it up because I'm a big bag of wieners. But it's okay. I'll just get on Amazon and order one. I wanted to kind of have the bragging rights of saying I made it. Sometimes you got to buy stuff when you lack in skill. In fact, I think that's how it works everywhere. All right, got a box of goodies. We got a big old V-band for the turbo. Put that there. That nice flange, that's nice, and it's threaded. That's pretty cool. And then just some various, pipes that I can either increase the diameter of something or decrease the diameter of something. I can restrict it. Got a nice vacuum block here that'll help control all the wastegates and all the blow-off valves. I don't remember what this is. Probably says on it. What do you guys see on there? Whoop, there we go. It says, who knows? Another V-band and another, and basically another pipe that adapts one diameter to another. So we have some parts, we can move forward. Also, I got this really groovy carbon fiber colored turbo diaper. It also doubles as a pretty fine welding cap. So there you go, fireproof head. See what we're looking at here. And then we need my flange to be about here, and just for visibility issues, I can't have everything be this high. I'm not going to be able to see to drive because I'll be sitting there. So I thought if I lowered the turbo from here to about there, I can see over it, gives me more room to work with these, and puts everything closer to the intake, even though I am running an intercooler, so I guess that part doesn't actually matter. I'm thinking right about here. Right, there's my mounting flange, there it is, right there. Want to be a good place for it. And it's almost straight. Yeah, okay. All right, let's see what my visibility looks like. I don't have the turbo on yet, I was just curious. I don't have the street scoop on though. That's what I'm looking at, not too terrible. Yeah. I've driven V8s with bigger motors, so I've had zero visibility here before. Another great thing about Fords is you can expect them to begin to disintegrate almost immediately. I went to get out and that little clip and gave up. So, hooray for quality. A Nissan would never do that. a little bit about the car. So I've been working on this car for 4 years. That sounds excessive considering there's basically nothing visually done to it. But I had to go through the motor, so the motor has been refreshed. The transmission I went through, I'd put a shift improver kit in it, did some work to the transmission. I don't have an LSD for it yet because I plan on actually swapping this to a manual at some point. So the car belonged to Mom. It was totaled out in a hailstorm. And so it's got kind of a rebuilt title. And then she passed and it just kind of sat. And then I started doing all that work on it. And then I got busy with work and I just couldn't get into it. But originally, I had watched another YouTuber, maybe look him up. His channel is J.R. Booston, where he turboed one of these cars. And I thought, well, that looks fun. I've already got everything out. Why not do it? So I put a KO4 on the back. And then eventually that went to a T3, T4. And then it went to a KO4 and a GT35. So I did compound for a little bit. Then it had those two, and it had a single Eaton on an intake manifold that I had built. And so it was all under the hood, and then I thought hoods are the most oppressive thing ever. It's like shirts on hippie girls. They just don't belong. So I thought, yeah, why not just do away with it? Freedom and all that stuff. So that's when I decided I just wanted to do something outrageous. I grew up in the era of big motors sticking up through hoods. The EPA, what was that? The EPA cared about two things: burning piles of tires and oil tankers crashing into Alaska. That's some history on the vehicle. I've been tinkering with it for a while, and it's time to just get it out there and just have some real fun with it. Just something streetable, a little extra horsepower, not too much, a conversation piece, fun to drive. And then if I want to tune it and map it and turn things up later on, that's fine. Some wonderful stainless steel bolts. Check it out. Fits in there pretty well. Of course, I'm going to have to go ahead and clock that bottom so that it can point straight down to come down here to the intercooler location. And it'll come back up and go around and into the little old throttle body there. But yeah, I can't wait to start actually cleaning these things and putting some paint on them. They've been sitting around and they've gotten dirty over the years. But yeah, what do you guys think? Got my fun things there going on. Let's see what it looks like from the inside. Yeah, there we go. Good visibility there. Minus that big old crack in the windshield that I've got to get replaced. That was a 4-inch hailstone that hit that thing. Craziness. That would have destroyed a baby. Sweet. I'm very pleased with that. Yes. Now we have to go get some idler pulleys so that I can do the, of course, the pulley tensioners and things for the belt. And then we'll do a little cleanup, little heat wrap. I've got some gussets on the way. We'll do final weld out and move forward. So, yeah. All right. Thanks for following along. We're going to go ahead and close this one out while I do some other crazy math and figure out how in the heck I'm going to get all these parts in there. We're running out of space fast. I'm thinking a hood may not be an option, which is actually not really a terrible thing in my brain. I didn't want to cut a hole in that hood anyway. We may just build some sort of show hood from scratch, so that'd probably be its own video. I know we want to do a dissimilar header on it, kind of give it that Subi sound. Full exhaust, of course. And but those will be other videos. Clearly, we're not doing that today. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Be nice to each other, would you? Gosh, moody car people. Get out of here.